Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Imagine this. You walk into a job interview. The manager smiles at you and says, "Tell me about yourself." Your heart is beating fast, and you're thinking, "What do I say in English?"
We've all been there. Interviews can be stressful, but here's the truth. If you prepare some simple English phrases, you can sound clear, polite, and confident, even if you're nervous.
Exactly. In this podcast, we'll explore useful English for job interviews, from greetings to answering tricky questions. We'll practice short, natural phrases that you can repeat and use immediately. Think of it as your personal interview survival kit.
And don't worry, we'll keep everything easy to understand. This is for learners who are at A2 to B1 level. You don't need perfect English to succeed in an interview. You just need the right words, the right tone, and a little confidence.
So, today, we'll help you learn how to introduce yourself, describe your skills, and answer questions with short, strong sentences. By the end, you'll feel ready to walk into that interview and shine.
Let's get started, because your dream job might just be one conversation away.
Let's imagine the very beginning of a job interview. You walk into the room, or maybe you join an online call. The first words matter a lot. They set the tone.
Yes, and the good news is you don't need complicated English. A short, polite greeting is enough. For example, you can say, "Good morning. It's nice to meet you." Simple, but very professional.
Exactly. Many learners make the mistake of saying too much in the first few seconds. You don't need to explain your life story right away. Just smile, speak clearly, and use polite phrases.
Another tip, when the interviewer asks, "How are you today?" don't just say, "Fine." You can add a little more, like, "I'm doing well, thank you. I'm happy to be here." That shows confidence and positivity.
And if it's online, remember to look at the camera, not just the screen. It feels strange at first, but it makes you look more confident and connected.
So, the first impression is all about being polite, short, and positive. That's the foundation for everything else that comes next in your interview.
One of the most common questions in any interview is, "Tell me about yourself." For many learners, this feels scary, but it doesn't have to be. Think of it as a chance to share your story, but in a short, simple way.
Yes, and here's the trick. Don't repeat your whole CV. The interviewer already has it. Instead, focus on 3 things: who you are, what you do, and why you're a good fit for the job.
For example, you can say, "I'm an accountant with 5 years of experience. I enjoy solving problems with numbers, and I'm excited about this role because it matches my skills." Short, clear, and confident.
And if you don't have much experience, that's okay too. You can talk about your studies, your skills, or even your motivation. For instance, I recently graduated in computer science. I'm passionate about learning new technologies, and I'm eager to grow with your company.
Notice something important. You're not just telling facts. You're showing your personality and your motivation. That's what interviewers remember.
So when you hear, "Tell me about yourself," remember, keep it short, keep it positive, and make it personal. That's how you stand out.
Another classic interview question is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Many learners panic here, but don't worry, this is actually a chance to shine.
Yes, because when you talk about strengths, you want to connect them to the job. For example, you can say, "One of my strengths is teamwork. I enjoy working with others to solve problems." Or, "I'm very organized and I always meet deadlines."
But what about weaknesses? Some people say, I work too hard, but that sounds fake. A better way is to share something real, but also show how you're improving it. For example, sometimes I feel nervous when speaking in front of a group, but I'm practicing by joining presentations at school.
Exactly. That way, your weakness becomes a strength in progress, and employers love to see that you're learning and growing.
So the golden rule is highlight a strength that fits the job and show that you're working on your weakness.
Do this, and you'll sound both confident and honest. A perfect combination for interviews.
One of the most important questions you'll hear in an interview is, why do you want this job? And trust me, this is where many people make mistakes.
Yeah, because some people answer, I just need money, or I don't know. That doesn't work. Employers want to hear your motivation.
A smart way is to connect the job to your skills or interests. You can say, I'm excited about this role because it allows me to use my communication skills and grow in customer service.
Or you can mention the company itself. For example, I admire your company's reputation for innovation, and I'd love to contribute to that success. So avoid answers that are only about you. Instead, show how both you and the company will benefit.
Exactly. When you link your passion, your skills, and the company's goals, you give the interviewer a clear reason to choose you. Before we jump into our role play, let's set the scene. Imagine you're sitting in a job interview. The interviewer smiles, shakes your hand, and begins asking questions. This can feel stressful, but with practice, you can sound calm, confident, and professional.
Exactly. In this dialogue, Catherine will play the interviewer, and I'll be the candidate. Listen carefully, repeat phrases aloud, and notice how we keep the answers polite, clear, and natural.
Ready? Let's begin our interview practice. Good morning. Thank you for coming in today. Can you please introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Matteo Rossi. I have 3 years of experience in customer service, and I'm passionate about helping people solve problems quickly and effectively.
That's great, Matteo. Why do you want to work for our company?
I admire your company's focus on innovation and teamwork. I believe this role is a great match for my skills, and I'm excited to contribute to your success while also growing my career.
Excellent. Can you tell me about a challenge you faced at work and how you solved it?
Sure. At my last job, a customer was very upset because their order was delayed. I listened carefully, apologized, and offered a discount for their next purchase. The customer calmed down and even thanked me later for handling the situation well.
Very good. What would you say is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength is communication. I can explain things clearly, stay calm under pressure, and work well in a team.
And what about a weakness?
Sometimes I try to do too much at once, but I've been improving by using task lists and prioritizing my work.
Thank you, Matteo. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I'd like to know more about the training opportunities for this role.
Great question. We provide ongoing training to help our employees grow. Thank you for your time today. That was a great practice interview. Did you notice how Matteo answered clearly and didn't use long, confusing sentences? In job interviews, simple and clear English is often more powerful than very complex words.
Right. For example, when the interviewer asked about his strengths, I didn't try to list everything. Instead, I focused on 1 or 2 strong points and explained them with short examples. This makes your answer easier to follow and more convincing.
Exactly. And another important detail, always sound polite and professional. Even if you are nervous, smiling, keeping eye contact, and using polite phrases like, "Thank you for asking," or "That's a good question," shows confidence.
And don't worry if you pause to think. A short pause is natural. You can use small fillers like, "Let me think for a moment," or, "Well, I believe," instead of staying silent.
Also, notice how Mateo asked a question back at the end. That's a very professional touch. Asking about the company or the role shows that you are truly interested, not just waiting for the job.
So remember, keep answers clear, polite, and confident. And don't be afraid to show interest. With practice, every interview becomes easier, and your English will sound more natural too.
Let's quickly go over the most useful words and phrases from today's job interview practice. We used polite openings like, "Thank you for asking," confident expressions such as, "One of my strengths is," and natural fillers like, "Well, I believe," or "Let me think for a moment."
We also practiced closing the interview with interest. For example, "I'd like to know more about the company culture," or "Can you tell me what the next steps are?" These small but powerful phrases make you sound professional and engaged.
And remember, the key is not only the words, but also your tone. Be polite, clear, and positive. That's what leaves a great impression.
Thank you for joining us today. Keep practicing these phrases until they feel natural. You don't just study English, you live it. Subscribe to the channel, share this podcast with your friends, and keep learning with us. See you in the next episode.